Afternoon. It is Thursday, March the 23rd. It's early afternoon, and I'm coming to you today from a beautiful place. It's a Green Bottle Temple in Pontong, Royat, Thailand. Stunning, beautiful. You can see around me. I'll shoot some more video, upload it separately, but what a beautiful place this is. And I'm coming at you today. I've got a good message, an idea, something that's been on my mind. So I want to talk about it a little bit. I got some notes here. So it's about being quiet and listening to your personal GPS. Listening to your personal, internal GPS. It's going to lead you to experiences, knowing, saying, and doing things that most never do. It's that still, small voice. It's 100% accurate. If you learn to follow it, trust it. It's that internal leading. Most people choose to ignore it. They choose to follow emotions. They listen to other people and the urgings of other people. Do this, do that. And while it's good to get advice, it's even better to learn to fine-tune your personal internal GPS. It's never wrong. Have you ever had a gut feeling about something that you should or shouldn't do? Well, how about when you're driving and something said, go that way, don't go that way? And what I've found to be true in my personal experience is that it's the still small voice, the gut feeling, internal direction, whatever you want to call it. It acts as an internal GPS, and it knows the correct way. Perhaps you've had questions about it. I've heard preachers and philosophers talk about it. Christians call it leading, still small voice, walking by faith. The Pali word used by Buddhists is pana, which can be translated as consciousness, discernment, or insight. And not many people teach about this. I don't think I've ever heard anyone really explain how it works. They just kind of allude to it, they mention it, but they never get into details. To the best of my knowledge, I've never, from my personal experience, I've never heard anyone teach on how to develop it and how to live by it. So I just want to touch on it a little bit today. And discernment, insight, the still small voice, it's an internal leading, it's your personal GPS. However, we're not taught to listen to it, to follow it. In fact, there's so much noise and static in our lives that we often don't even hear it. We don't even know it exists. And when we become aware of its presence, and realize that it exists to help us, discovering it, learning to trust it, then we begin to live life on a different level, aware of a higher plane of living and moving beyond confusion, which noise causes in our life. And I'll give you an example from a recent example from my own life. On Monday of last week, I drove to Kamchanat. It's a famous Thai Buddhist temple located about 4.5 hours from my home. And everyone said, go this way. Go on the main highway. It's like an interstate highway. The main highway. Go that way. That's how you get there. But I punched it into my GPS on my phone, and my GPS said, no. Go that way. Go this way. Don't go that way. And so I followed the GPS. Because I listened to the GPS, we went on some back roads, country roads. We had some road construction, a few delays, but it put us behind about 30 minutes. So the trip took about 30 minutes longer. But I saw places and things that most tourists and others never see. Beautiful mountains, countryside. And it taught me things that I would not have learned otherwise. At one point early in the trip, I had the option to be frustrated or not. I had the option. I chose not to be frustrated. I decided to enjoy the trip because I'd see things I'd never seen before. We drove through some of the most beautiful and wondrous countrysides, the Pupan Mountains National Park, and I realized I was onto something good. When I did this, I had a flash of insight. And if people would develop their personal GPS, they would never go wrong. All too often, people, they want to be in charge, and they think they know what's best, and they want it all, and they want it now, so they push, but they don't listen. Then they have measures of what some would call, success, but they're not fulfilled. This pushing, this burying of the GPS, losing the signal, it causes great frustration, misery, anguish, unhappiness. Yet people don't know why they're experiencing these problems. So my suggestion is, be quiet. Be still. Trust and learn to follow your personal GPS.